Hello, ineffable beings. How are you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful, magical day. I want to tell you that you are a genius. You are special. You mean the world, and you are loved. Today, I want to share with you how simple life really is. And the importance of this is really being reflected right now in our current state of affairs with the planet, depending on what country you're on. We have COVID, we have vaccinations, we have school issues, economic issues, health concerns. People on the other side of the planet don't have food. There's so much going on. Global warming, corruption in every level. So the simplicity of life is today's topic. And why is this important? Well, let me tell you first how to create a simple life. Well, the closer we get to our core, the more simple life becomes. Well, first, to understand the simplicity of life, perhaps I should tell you what really life is, right? And this is an oversimplified version of it. So I like to believe that life is these next three dimensions: our finances, our health, our relationships. Now, of course, you hearing this, you can say, well, Luis, I have a job. Well, Luis, I have this, and I have a car note, and I have payments, and I have a mortgage. That's fine. And Luis, I have family, I have kids, I have coworkers. That's fine. But life, in essence, if we just can put life, all of life, all of an individual's life, into a cup or a couple cups, I like to believe that finance, health, and relationships does a pretty good job, because finance can cover a lot of things: where I'm spending my money, where I'm not spending my money, my mortgage, my car note, my aspirations, my health. There is, physical, mental health, emotional health. My relationships is probably the largest one of these all. My relationships with myself, my relationships with my spirituality, my relationships with my family, with my partner, with my job, my relationship with the past, the present, and the future. But if we look at life, and I've done this myself, most of my life, at least all the 100 things that I came up with, was able to be put under one of these things. Now, the simplicity of life is found the deeper we go in ourselves, because the further we journey into the unknown, the more we begin to reveal who we are. We begin to unmask who we are, and it's similar like Wizard of Oz, right? Picking up that veil. But the only way to actually remove the veil is to not pretend that it's not there, or to simply not care for it. Truly, the only way to be above and look to pierce the veil is to pick up the veil. And when it comes to the human being, the way that this is easily done is the more we connect with ourselves, the more we go inside ourselves to explore the depths of what a human being is. Now, this sounds pretty easy, right? But the question was, well, Luis, we all have a brain. We can all be conscious. So why is life so hectic? Why am I worried about all of these things? Well, the great late Nobel Prize winning Dr. Albert Schweitzer put it well in London whenever he was interviewed by, the interviewer, and asked him, Doctor, what is the problem with men today? So Dr. Albert Schweitzer sat for a moment and replied, men simply don't think. This is the foundation of Earl Nightingale's audio or book, The Secret. I believe it's called The Secret, or the Greatest Secret. But to Dr. Albert Schweitzer's words, men simply don't think. Well, what is this important? Let's talk about my last topic. My last topic was deciding how to know if thoughts are from good spirits or bad spirits, or good energy or bad energy, or positive versus negative. And I shared there, the synopsis of that video is that there's not a quicker way to tell the world through which paradigm you're living. Because if you're under that establishment, if you're still deciding who to listen to, well, what we're accepting is that you're not listening to yourself, but you're listening to something else. And the answer to that question, and to furthermore, Dr. Albert Schweitzer's response to the problem with men and how to make life simple, perhaps is to start singing the song that you want to hear. Well, why is a simple life important? We discussed what life is in a very broad way, right? Our finances, our health in every dimension, our relationships in every dimension. Well, what am I saying in a simple life? Am I saying like I should be homeless, or is a simple life saying that, I'm not gonna make it to the NBA? Like, what's a simple life really? Does a simple life look like where there's no money or no excess money? Is a simple life no vacations, or no, if you want a Ferrari, no Ferraris? Is that a simple life, or not? Because this is something that's very important. So the simple fact is, a simple life, how to look at life through a lens of simplicity, is to know that, is this right here, is my life good? But before you can decide if my life is good, let's talk about why creating a simple life is important. Well, to create a simple life, that means you are free from the stress of life. Now, life will never be 100% my way or your way. It's a little bit their way, a little bit her way, a little bit his way, a little bit my way. That's the way life is. Why is a simple life important? Well, frankly, there's a lot that I could tell you. High blood pressure. We can go on and talk about the effects of stress, epigenetics, how our environment affects. Our environment signals the gene that creates disease. I can share with you that the, stress for an extended period, it's a fact that maintaining stress for a long endured time downregulates genes and create disease. We can talk about the effects that not having a simple life can create, damage the right hemisphere of the brain, that's going to create emotional sorrow, lead to depression, affects our emotions where there's not much, attenuation. I just totally said that word wrong, but how we speak, it lacks emotion. Or we also have the left side of the brain that can be affected whenever our life is too big, right? How is our left side of our left hemisphere? Well, and our speech is going to be, there's a whole bunch of errors in our speech. Spatial awareness is very poor when the left side of the brain is, damaged. The importance of this is to see that our world can be too big for us. And this is where life now feels like it's a hassle, where life is now not simple. But the simple fact is, well, we are biologically telling ourselves, every cell in the body, what the signal you're sending whenever you decide and you feel like life is just so hectic and so hard and so stressful, and it's a battle all the time. What we're telling ourselves is that we are too big for life, or that life is too big for ourselves. Well, what problem does this cause? I just kind of touched on a couple things, right? Our genetic expression can be lessened. Stress, our emotional, our finances can begin to hinder. There's a plethora of things. But the number one thing, the way that I can just group it all together, is the importance of a simple life is so you can create the excess energy required to better your finances, your health, and your relationships. And we're not just talking about sex or what you eat or money in your pocket. Remember, finance, health, and relationships, there's 100 things that fit into each of these. But the great overview of this is the importance of wanting to create a more simple life is so you can create the excess energy for yourself to then go out and create the life that you want. Because if you're worried about what to wear, what to eat, your finances, like mental health, if you're worried about your social media, what you're gonna watch, where you're gonna go out, who's going to be your holly date. That's a great Netflix movie if you haven't seen it. But if you're worried about these things, then you're not going to have the energy to chase the dream that you want. And this is why trying to create a simple life is better. Again, I'm not saying a simple life means a life less that doesn't meet your standards. If your standards are Rolls Royce's mansion, create a simple life around that. So what is a good life? Let's end it with that. Is a good life a good view of the ocean or something like this, a car, a mansion? Or is this right here, my experience in the moment, good or not? That is what determines a good life. Why? Because a successful, an amazing, intelligent person can lose his house, lose his wealth 10 times and create it over again. How? If he understands that the experience of life is within, and only whenever this is riddled, whenever you are in bliss and happy and elevated emotions, only when your experience of life inside is good is life then riddled. Because in this space of effortlessness, of simplicity, you're going to have the power, the energy, the intelligence to go on about your life and create what you want to create. Ineffable beings, this has been my topic on how to create a simple life, why to strive towards a simple life. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've received value in the content. Please put down in the comments if you have received value and if you have not received value. Also put down in the comments if this video was a waste of time and you did not receive any value. I'd love to get both sides of your feedback. And lastly, please put down in the comments what topics you'd like for me to cover in the future. Give this video a huge thumbs up and subscribe. I hope to see you on the side of light. Goodbye.